Okay, guys. Hi, Lunitca, Looney. Daniela, guys. I have a very special guest with me. This is a private live. You guys will see this later on Instagram and on my YouTube channel. Be sure to follow this person I'm going to mention right now. It is Terri Hawkes, the voice of Sailor Moon from DiC Entertainment, 90s kids. This is for us. This is for the Sailor Moon community. I really wanted to share this with you guys. And I hope I can get in contact with her. Be sure to follow Terri in all her social media platforms. I am excited, super excited. This is a dream come true. Let's see if we can get a hold of her. Let's see if now this works. Hopefully this works.
Can you see me? Okay. Stephanie, it worked.
Great. Now I will celebrate. All right. Have fun, you two.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my God. Yay! It works.
Okay. Wow, that was an effort. I'm so glad because it looks like you spent a lot of time with your makeup and your outfit. You look great. So I'm really glad we don't have to do this again another time.
Oh my goodness. This is so real. I'm fangirling. I'm so sorry.
Okay, Daniela, hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Terri. It's such a pleasure. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. It's a calm down.
Just keep breathing. Just breathe.
Yeah.
One breath at a time.
I'm so
I'm gonna
excited.
sip my tea. We're just having tea together.
Having tea to take. Oh, it's
This afternoon.
I love this so much. Okay. You look amazing. It's so good to see you, Terri.
Thank you. So good to see you too. Tell me, okay, we're recording now or we're not?
Yes, we are recording.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your Instagram followers and the kind of thing you do and
Okay.
why we're here.
So I started, well, I've always been a fan of Sailor Moon from the 90s. I introduced to you. You are my favorite, sincerely. And I guess I never stopped loving the show. And I started with Instagram sharing my fandom with the community, and it escalated from there. And I started in 2023, I want to say, interviewing other voice actresses, including in the Sailor Moon community. So you are my third one and super special.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh my
This is
goodness.
my first Instagram interview.
Oh, okay. It's exciting. Okay, Terri, do you want to start with the questions?
Whatever you like. I am in your hands. I have full confidence in you.
All right, my dear. Oh, this is so cool. I'm still fangirling. Okay, Terri, so we'll start the questions I have for you here. So what job were you doing before voice acting? What got you into voice acting? And what was your first voice role?
Okay. Jobs before voice acting. Well, I put myself through university doing a few different jobs. One was doing computer sort of inputting data.
Okay.
And I remember the thing I remember the most about that job is that the young woman sitting next to me had nails about, I don't know, 3 inches long. And I could not figure out how she could get that keyboard to work. I really couldn't. But she was awesome. That was one of my summer jobs. And then throughout the year, I generally worked as a server or a host at restaurants. And that took me through university. And then again, the first couple of years of my professional pursuits into the world of acting. It was kind of my go-to gig because there was some flexibility around hours and the pay was decent. Yeah. It was hard work though. It was hard work because in those days, well, we were encouraged to wear high heels and short skirts, and luckily most places don't require that anymore. But the harder thing was the cigarette smoke. There was cigarette smoke everywhere, but that is rare now too. So that's good. That's progress in the world of servers for sure.
Oh my goodness, so you were doing, it's so cool. And then from there you progressed to doing a little bit of acting, and then you got into voice acting?
Well, yeah, the acting experience comes a lot earlier than any of those jobs that put me through school.
Wow.
So I was first kind of introduced to acting in theater when I was about 9 years old, and my mother was involved in community theater in the States, in Fort Collins, Colorado. We were living there because my father was going to graduate school. And she came home from a rehearsal one day and said, honey, they're having trouble finding a little boy to play this role in this play. Do you want to audition? And I said, okay, sure. And I auditioned, and I was asked to do the role, and it was a great experience. And I got to share that with my mother, which was really special. So sweet. And that led to some more plays with her. And then when we returned to Canada, to Calgary, Alberta, where I grew up, I auditioned for and was accepted into a group of singers and dancers called the Young Canadians of the Calgary Stampede.
I love that. That's so nice.
That was a real gift. There were scholarships available, which was great because my family couldn't have afforded to have given me those lessons otherwise. And for 8 years, I took lessons with them, singing and dancing. And then at the end of the year, so kind of the beginning of summer, we would put on this big outdoor grandstand show at the Calgary Stampede every night in front of 30,000 people. So it was a good training ground.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh my goodness, I had no idea. That's why I love doing these interviews with you guys, because we get to see a little bit how you started before you got to a different field. That's so cool. So you did a little bit of everything, Terri. Oh my goodness. I love that. Oh, that's really good. I love that. So you're really, you had that background. So you did theater work with your mom. That's so sweet.
Yep.
That's super special.
It was very sweet. And that led to another educational opportunity at the Banff School of Fine Arts in the Rocky Mountains, just outside of Calgary. Beautiful place to visit if you ever want to check it out. And
I do.
That led to my first professional job in theater in Edmonton, Alberta. And we did a new musical about Marilyn Monroe, and I played young Marilyn, Norma Jean, and it was great.
Oh my God!
And that, yeah,
that's so nice. That's such a good. I love Marilyn Monroe, so that's really cool. I didn't know this. I'm finding out. This is so exciting.
She was a very, very interesting person. I have a lot of respect for her in many ways. But yeah, that was great. So that was the opportunity that led me to really consider trying this professionally. So yeah, that was sort of a turning point for me.
That's a great way to start, and how it went from there. Oh my goodness, I would have never imagined. It's so cool to see how you guys really start, and then you just get to that point that you try other things. That's amazing, Terri. Okay, let me ask you the following up question. This one I know, but for people that will see this later, of course, that might not know, can you share with us some of the voice roles or acting roles you have done?
Oh my gosh. Well, I used to do a lot of, before animation, when I was doing that job I just told you about in Edmonton, Alberta, yes. I was really curious about radio drama, which was very popular on CBC Radio, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. So kind of like NPR in the States. Okay. But we had a lot of radio drama, so plays on radio. And I basically opened a phone book. For those of you who don't know what a phone book is, it's a big thick book with telephone numbers in it. And I phoned the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, the office in Edmonton, and they put me through. I didn't know where to start. I didn't know anybody in this industry. And they put me through to a very respected producer named Fred DL. And Fred, I think, probably was kind of amused that I just cold called him out of the phone book and invited me in for an interview. And then he hired me for this wonderful radio drama kind of soap opera called Katie and Me. And it was about a little girl who was caught in the midst of her parents divorcing. And it played during rush hour every day. So people driving home would listen to this soap opera on the radio.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so not long after that, or a few months later, I moved to Toronto, which is kind of the center, I'm going to say, in English Canada for theater, film, and television. Vancouver would be a close second. And I wanted to pursue professional opportunities here. So my radio drama got me a little foot in the door, CBC, and that and my other theater experience contributed to me finding an agent, And then my agent would have submitted me for my first auditions for animation.
I can.
So that's what you asked about animation, but that's kind of how I got into animation.
That is so cool. I love it. I love your journey. So very good so far. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me see where I left off. Okay. So here we're officially already getting to the part where you enter animation. When you went to audition for Sailor Moon, what was the experience like? And did you voice any other characters in that show?
Sailor Moon, Serena, all the various incarnations of Princess Serena, that entity in different forms was my contribution to that show.
Yes.
The audition was kind of unusual. It was very rushed.
Oh my goodness.
Get it done. So, okay, I'll give you a couple of Calgary connections. So I'm living in Toronto now, back then, and I had done community theater in Calgary. I didn't even mention that, but I had done community theater with some great actors in the world of amateur theater, including Tracy Moore in Calgary. And now that we were in Toronto, I was given a call, and Tracy Moore had done the first, handful of shows of Sailor Moon as not only an actor, but as a voice director. And she had left because of creative differences with the producer.
Oh, okay.
So they were already in production.
Yeah.
Which means, they've rented the studio space, they have the engineer, the director, everything. They needed somebody to take over as soon as possible. I didn't really know any of this, but my agent called me one day and said, Terry, we have an audition for you for this new anime series. And I don't even think I knew what anime was then, because that was kind of a gateway to anime, right?
It's totally new.
Yes. And I had two young friends, Russell and Philip, visiting me from Calgary, Alberta. And I was taking them to the Hockey Hall of Fame that day. So I said to my agent, okay, just let me know when the audition is. And she said, well, the audition is right now. I said, seriously, I'm going to the Hockey Hall of Fame. I have some friends here. So my husband at the time kept an eye on the kids, my young friends. I went to the audition. It was very rushed. Yes. There was a lot of stuff. They put me through the mill, and it was fun. It was definitely something that was new to me. Yeah. I loved the idea of the girl superheroes, and that was, that wasn't really the norm, right? So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I had fun. I tried to find some humor in it and tried to sort of capture some of Tracy's tone, because she had done, as I said, the first few episodes. Yes. And then I left, and then we took the kids to the Hockey Hall of Fame. And then I got another call from my agent, and my agent said, Terry, they want you to do the role. And I said, wow, that's great. That was fast. I said, so just let me know, when they're recording, and I'll show up. She said, yeah, they want you tonight. And I said, are you kidding me?
Oh my God, Terry.
So anyway, I did end up in the recording studio that night. Wow. With Nicole Twell, the producer, Roland Parliament, the director, Saul, the engineer. It was a great team. And then we spent years together and did many episodes and a few films. And then we're joined by the other actors. And so you know who they are. The Scouts were Susan Roman and Stephanie Morgenstern and Katie Griffin and Karen Bernstein. Yeah. And then there was John Rubin and Jill Frappier and Toby Proctor. And just some amazing actors. It was such a gift. It was really a beautiful experience.
Oh my goodness. I love how they just got you so quick. You just did the role so perfectly. Oh my God, Terry. What a whirlwind that must have been for you. But you did it, and you accomplished it, and you have so many people that love you as Sailor Moon, including myself.
Thank you, Daniela. That's really sweet. Thank you.
It's true. I mean, I was telling my sister earlier before I continue the next question, it feels very surreal to me talking to you guys, because growing up hearing you guys put so much effort and life into the character. You added a little bit of yourself into the character. So I just I hear the character, but I know it's you. And it's I'm talking to my superhero. So it's so cool. It's so cool. I love that.
I know those voices from our youth are really meaningful, and they stay with us, don't they? I remember a couple of cartoons from my youth that, like the Flintstones, that I could recognize their voices right now. So yeah, it's meaningful.
It is. It's meaningful. It is. It truly is. And I pick up when you do another voice, I can tell right off the bat it's you. I'm like, that's Terri. That's Terri. I know her voice anywhere. I'm like, that's Terri. And it's like, yes, it's Terri. I'm like, I know.
Well, you have a pretty good ear because not everybody can tell. But that's.
All right, let's do the follow-up questions here. Let me see. I already got this one. Okay. I think you kind of answered me this, but I'll ask you either way. Did you record on your own, or were you able to record with another voice actor in the same room, in Sailor Group?
Yeah, so I prefer recording with the other actors because it's just fun because you're each behind your own microphone and you're interacting and you can react off of what they give you and that kind of thing. Yeah. And there were a few instances where the Sailor Scouts got to record together, and I love that. Those were really special recording sessions. But most of the time, in the role of Sailor Moon, I was in a recording studio on my own. And the reason for that, I suppose it's twofold. The main reason is Sailor Moon has the majority of the lines and is on screen most of the time. Yeah. So for the producers to pay all the actors to be there, right, while I was just going through, I don't know, monologues or the kind of thing is not the most economically efficient route for them. So they very often would have me come in and record a whole show or 2 or 3 shows, as much as possible, and then they'd edit it with the other Sailor Scouts later. But it occurs to me the other reason probably would have been, I hadn't thought of this till now, because we were dubbing it, right? It was originally recorded in Japanese. So when you're dubbing, at least then, it's kind of shifted now, but they have the English translation on the screen below the image of the Japanese characters, or the Japanese anime, I should say. Yeah. And you follow your lines. But if you had, I guess, well, they had to, anyway, I'm sure you're not all that interested in this, but now I'm thinking about the logistics of it. No, if they had five lines, they'd have to stack them you were talking at the same time. It's just more confusing on the screen, is what I'm going to say. The rhythm band, they called it, where you're trying to match this written sentence with the vocal position, the physical position of the character. So if Sailor Moon had her voice open on a vowel sound, I would try to match a vowel sound to that and try to match the consonant to when she closes her mouth. And so that's a lot of information to take in at once to try to keep the tempo and match the physicality and also find the intention and the emotional life of the line. So if you get 4 or 5 people trying to read the rhythm band, I guess it was maybe a little more confusing, but now that I've sort of deconstructed it all, I think, no, I'm sure it works just the same. It was probably it just boiled down to money. They saved money by having me there separately, I think, is the way that it probably played. Yeah, but like you said, it's definitely more fun having other people because you can jump off each other's energy and interact with each other. It's definitely, I agree. It would be more fun to be with other people instead of just being alone. But you guys did a great job, an amazing job doing the characters. Thank you. It was definitely a privilege.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes. Okay. I think you kind of answered my question to that one. Let me see if it's anything when you kind of say. Let me see. Okay, so I guess I need to do a follow-up to that very question you answered me right now. Did the recording process change over time for the episodes and the Sailor Moon movies?
I don't think so. I think it was pretty much the same. We kind of found our rhythm early on, and we just got to know each other better, so probably we were a little more efficient. Okay. There was one episode, I wish I could tell you which episode, I would love to know. There was one episode where it was just me in the recording booth, and then Roland and the engineer and Nicole on the other side of the glass. And normally you stop and start, maybe do it again, get some notes, do it again. This one episode, we started at the beginning, and it just kept rolling, and we went all the way to the end of the episode without stopping. And we all were euphoric at the end of it because, Roland might give me some directions, sort of hand signals through the glass. And
Okay.
I'm sure Saul was working his magic on the board. And I was just really, I don't know, in the zone or something. And it was so gratifying because we finished that episode and then we just all stopped and just kind of grinned at each other and went, that was so special. It was like, I don't know, like creating and performing a song, like on your first try, and feeling like you'd done it service, you know? So that was really special. Now that wouldn't have happened at the beginning of our collaboration, but it happened later on after we knew each other really well. But that would have been maybe the difference. We had that one really special experience, and I'm sure.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. Oh my God. And like you were saying, you're trying to remember, do you kind of remember what, I'm trying to, or like, recount myself what episode that might be, so I can be like, I know what you're talking about, but that sounds amazing, because that, like you said, you started and then you guys actually finished the whole episode. So do you guys normally just like do random here and there, and that day you just did the whole episode in one go?
Yes, we did the whole episode in one go. We usually, it's not so random. We try to do it chronologically because the storyline, the arc would build, right?
Yes.
But often there are little things I didn't maybe match the physicalization properly, or Roland might say, listen, do you think that she might be a little more scared here, or something like that? And I always also really tried to inject a lot of humor in Sailor Moon because I really thought that was an important part of her character. So
Definitely.
I would bring things into the recording booth, like crackers and things for her to munch on when she was eating as Serena, and things like that. So, you know, not everybody does that. And I'm sure that the maintenance staff at the end of the day weren't too thrilled with me with little cracker crumbs all over
It's okay.
the rug. But so sometimes we'd have to stop for me to have a little glass of water after I'd, ingested 5 crackers or something like that.
I love that. It's so cute. You really did embody the character. You did her so well.
Thank you.
You did her justice.
I had fun. She's fun. She's part of me now.
Definitely is. She will always be a part of you. Oh my goodness, I love that. I would have never imagined that you would get little crackers or something to add into the character a little more. I love that detail. That is so special. Okay. Terri, from all the voices you have recorded in your career, which one is your favorite and why?
Oh, it's a little bit like choosing your favorite kid, which I could never do. Well, I'll say this. Not that Sailor Moon is necessarily my favorite, if I'm not going to choose a favorite, but I will say that Sailor Moon has been the one that has maybe enhanced my life in the most ways.
Okay.
Yeah. So, when and I think maybe some of the other actors might agree that there's something really special about being involved in this particular story that Naoko Takeuchi created. So we didn't create it, but we were all lucky enough to be brought on board.
You're part of it.
We were part of it, and none of us realized at the time that this would become what many consider to be the gateway to anime, and sort of at the forefront of creating groups of superheroines. Yeah. So the girl power and girl culture, and that shift in gender, I guess, and in what we expect heroes or heroines to be. Yeah. It's complex, but very simple at the same time. It was new. It was kind of groundbreaking. And we didn't realize that even after we finished. We didn't really realize it until there were certain signs that it was kind of emerging in the zeitgeist. And I remember the moment when I knew it was something special. I'm going to go back to my mother again, Joanne Harriet Hawkes. And she always loved Halloween. As I told you, she was an amateur thespian and loved storytelling. She was a beautiful storyteller. Awesome. And so she would dress up for the kids at Halloween. And sometimes she'd try to scare them. She'd put on like a flannel nightgown and a cap, and she'd put cold cream all over her face. And they'd ring the bell, and she'd open the door, and she'd go, "What? You woke me up." And they'd go, "Oh, sorry." And she'd go, "Trick or treat." So she had fun with these kids, and they got to know her a little bit. But this particular year, she phoned me, and she was still in Calgary, and I was in Toronto. She said, "Honey, I've been answering the door, and there are all these Sailor Scouts at the door." She said, "There's Sailor Moon and Sailor Mars, Sailor Venus, but lots of Sailor Moons. So I tell them I'm Sailor Moon's mom." And they don't know what to think of that. They don't really believe me. I might be scaring them. But anyway, I found that so amusing because she had this real relationship with Halloween and the neighborhood kids.
Yeah.
But I didn't know before that how popular Sailor Moon had become. And that was sort of the first sign. It's like, really, all these kids dressed up. And then, of course, that led to a lot of awareness and people contacting me and being asked to kind of do the voice for maybe kids who are ill. A good friend.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, so that sort of opened the door to different experiences, and then that led to anime conventions and some very, very meaningful conversations with people who have shared with me how meaningful, how important the stories of Sailor Moon have been in their lives, from little kids who've been going through divorce of their parents, and they would rush home after school to turn on Sailor Moon or get up at 6 a.m. I can't get over that.
Yeah.
And some people who have said that the implication of a same-sex relationship in the series gave them the courage to come out. Yeah. And other people who have said that they've really struggled with mental health over the years and even been suicidal, and that some of the positive messaging in the series was part of their recovery. So I don't take those stories lightly. I find them very meaningful, and I'm very honored to be the keeper of some of those conversations. Yeah. And it reminds me of how meaningful storytelling can be through many mediums, but in this case through anime. Yeah. And I feel very honored to have been a part of the team that has reached so many people and brought meaning to many, as I'm told.
Oh my goodness, I got a little teary-eyed. That was perfect. That was a great. Oh my goodness, I love your response to that, because it really is exactly what you just said. Everything is exactly that, and everyone has like their own experiences. It's definitely something I watched as a kid, and goodness gracious, yes, everything you said was pinpoint, Terri. That was perfect. Oh my goodness, so that's how you realized for the first time that it was such a popular show, and from there, oh wow. I'm a little speechless now because you kind of tugged my heartstrings a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I think that's one of the beautiful things about the arts, and one of the reasons that I think so many people are drawn to it, whether we create some artistic product or whether we're witnesses to what other people have created. I mean, whether it's theater, film, television, visual art, music, so many arts. I mean, I really have, over the years, I've come to believe more and more that contributions to the arts and being audience members, it's a sacred undertaking, and it brings us closer together and helps illuminate our worlds. Yeah.
Oh no, Terri, you're gonna make me cry.
It's okay. Your tears are welcome here.
That was part of the. But yes, oh my goodness, you said it so perfect. I don't want to cry.
It's okay. I think tears are healthy. Personally.
Yes, they are healthy. Oh my goodness, I just wasn't expecting that, such a sentimental but like a really heartfelt answer. So that really, really pulled some strings. Okay. You're welcome, Terri. You are absolutely amazing. Oh my goodness, I love you so much. Okay. Okay. Let me compose myself. Okay.
Let's just
what
take a
helps you?
breath together. Deep breath.
Much better. Much better.
Nice.
Okay, I'm a little bit red, but
Nice to share that with you.
yes, I wasn't expecting that, but yes, that was. Oh my goodness, I won't ever forget this as long as I live, or for the next life, I won't forget. All right, Terri, what helps you get into character?
Oh gosh. Do you mean just his Sailor Moon or just in general?
Just in general, what helps you get, like, you as a voice actress to get into character?
Yeah. So, people who have gone through acting training, and then there are many different forms of acting training, but I use my acting training to create a process that I go through when I am working on a role. And it's, I suppose, very sort of involved. So I write a history of the character. I make sure I know a lot of the background. I take a look at the script. I break it down. I decide what I think the character's main objective is in the whole story. And then I break it down into, sub-objectives. And then I try to figure out what the character does to achieve those goals.
Okay.
And that is sort of my blueprint in a very, very basic way.
Okay.
That is my blueprint. I don't decide ahead of time about emotions because, well, as you just demonstrated, you don't know when a certain emotion is going to hit you. If something just touches you or, sets you off and triggers you and maybe you're angry, I find it really hard to just create emotion. What I try to do as an actor is I focus on what I want from that particular scene or the character in the scene or from myself as a character. And if I'm kind of true to all of the imaginary circumstances that the writer, director, producer, set people have created and that I've created, if I'm true to those imaginary circumstances, my goal is to behave truthfully in imaginary circumstances, which is, I'm paraphrasing, but one of our great acting teachers, Uta Hagen, and one of her colleagues, Carol Rosenfeld, are two teachers I studied with, and that would be one of their prime lessons, I guess, to try to behave truthfully under imaginary circumstances.
That's great advice. Oh my goodness. So that, like you said, that's your blueprint. And that was, okay.
Yeah.
That's great. I love how you do it, though. Everyone has their own way of getting into character, like you said, or whether it's like an acting role or a voice role. I love how you do it.
Yeah.
I love how you do it. That's great. Okay, let me see. Where did I leave off with you? Okay. Do you have a favorite episode in Sailor Moon?
Oh. No, I don't really.
No?
No. I can tell you that there are sort of moments that really resonate with me and stay with me. Like I love that Serena is imperfect and klutzy and makes mistakes. I think that's really important, especially, with young audiences, but actually with all of us at any age. I think I am constantly reminded that it's okay to be imperfect because I am imperfect.
Exactly.
And so I love that that's written into the character, and I think we were able to find even maybe a little bit more. And I think she comes to accept herself more as she, grows. And so I love those kind of klutzy, imperfect moments with Serena. And I also love that she can be that way. Yeah. And she has this inner strength that comes to light when she's, issuing one of her main chants or mantras, Moon Prism Power, Moon Healing Activation. She just has so much strength. And that strength is enhanced when the Sailor Scouts work together. So there's power in community. So those are, I would say, not the favorite episodes, but the favorite themes and the essence of all the many stories of Sailor Moon that I really hold close to my heart. And one of the reasons this series is so meaningful to me.
I love that. That's perfect. The essence. I love it because it's true. She isn't perfect, but we all can relate to her in some way or another. And all the girls too, you can all relate to them a little bit. But
Yeah.
I love that. That is perfect, Terri. That is a great answer.
No, it's not
That is
perfect. It's imperfect,
oh, sorry.
Daniela.
You're right. You're right. She's imperfect. She's imperfect. But I love how she, like you said, when it comes to the serious moment, she is willing to risk it all for her friends and everything else.
Yeah.
So I love
that too. Yeah.
She's so sweet. I love her. You're right. She's imperfect, but she rises to the occasion. I love that. She's just imperfect and perfect.
What we all strive for, right? I think.
Yeah.
Many my friends. I think we all try to achieve that in one way or another.
We do.
Try to do our best despite the obstacles and the imperfections.
Exactly. Yeah, because we're not perfect. So exactly. Yeah. Yes. I got your point. Yes. You're absolutely
on the same page.
Yes. Okay. Now my follow-up question, Terri, would be: if Ms. Viz Media were to hire you for the new show of Sailor Moon, would you do it? And would you do the same voice of that you did in the past, or would you do a new one?
Oh my gosh.
Well, like the same character.
Yeah, well, if they wanted to include me in any future productions, I would love that. I'd be honored. That would be really special. And I can't think that I would change the voice, except that as I've grown a bit older, perhaps Sailor Moon has too. But my voices stay the same.
They do.
To a great extent as people age. Our physicality changes more.
Yeah.
But voices, there's a quality of voices that even if as someone gets older, their voice might kind of lower a little bit in pitch, but the essence of our vocal production is a little bit like a fingerprint.
Exactly.
It's, something that seems to stick with us. So yeah, I don't think I would change that. I would hope that that would be part of any future incarnation of Sailor Moon going forward, because that was then.
Yeah.
This is now.
Of course. You still sound the same. You still sound exactly the same. I mean, as you're talking to me, I'm hearing Sailor Moon talking, so I'm like, you still sound the same. It's still surreal, but yeah, I would love that. So you would definitely take can you still see me? You would definitely take the role if they were to give it to you as Sailor Moon, and I would absolutely love that. I wish they would do. I wish at least like an episode or a movie. Just so you can that role again. I would love
fun.
It would be, and I know a lot of people from my generation and maybe like a little bit younger as well, they would love to have like the original cast, just to hear you guys again. I would have loved it.
We would love it.
Absolutely.
I'm imagining most of us would love that too.
Okay. Okay. I think you kind of answered this, but I'll ask you either way, and you can tell me if you want to. What does the show Sailor Moon and the Sailor Moon fandom or community mean to you? I think you kind of answered in a way.
Yeah, I think I kind of answered that. So I have a lot of respect for all the actors that I worked with in Sailor Moon and all the other projects I've had the good fortune to work on. So I think running into those people or working with them occasionally again really is special because you have a bit of history, right?
Yes.
And then with regard to the fans of Sailor Moon, it's great to chat with them in person. I have a number of engagements coming up at Collecticon conventions in the US. I'm going to Atlanta in a couple of weeks, and then another really meaningful one will be the beginning of March in Los Angeles. And I'm really hoping that that the people who are interested in joining us in LA are able to be. Well, first of all, that everybody's safe, and that maybe it'll be a lighter moment in the midst of what has been a tragic situation.
Oh no. Okay, you're back.
Yeah, so just I guess the connection with the other artists, and the connection with people who know the show, and find it meaningful, and those connections are really strong. And I would just add something else to that. So one of the nice things of I find about people being interested in a certain series or certain artist is that it can lead you to other works. And can I tell you quickly about what I'm working on right now?
Of course.
Okay?
Yeah.
So it's not Full Moon, but there's a little bit of similarity here. There's it's a web series called Lady Ada's Secret Society. Lady Ada's Secret Society, or LASS.
Okay.
That's the acronym, LASS. It's on Marble Kids YouTube.
Okay.
We have series 1 is there right now, the first season. And it's the story of a girls' school where the girls are discouraged from studying math, science, technology, but some of them love it.
Okay.
So they form this underground society, Lady Ada's Secret Society, and they use their science skills to play pranks on the rest of the student body. And they have a headmistress who thwarts them at every turn, and that would be me. And it's received a lot of awards and nominations internationally. We're very grateful. It's a wonderful ensemble of actors, and we right now are in pre-production for season 2. And I'm lucky enough to be in the writer's room this season.
Oh, that's awesome! Congratulations!
Thank you. Shannon Fuster created it, and there's some wonderful young actors in this: Ella Jonas Farlinger, Glenna Walters, Clara Cute, Shaylin Griffin, a great director of photography, Andrew Hunter, a great director, Samantha Wan. It's really going to be a special season 2, and we have, I'm going to say, a couple of new actors who we can't announce quite yet, but people who are wonderful, and they'll be great additions to the cast. And I would just encourage you all to join us because, as I say, there's some similar themes. It's about community. It's about girls being stronger when they're when they're supporting each other in a collective, in a group. There are a lot of issues in season 2 about gender and how gender shows up in one's life, and how certain roles in society are prescribed according to gender, and there are a lot of questions that are raised around that. And and it's just, I think it's beautifully written. I'm a little biased, but we have some public sort of accolades to back me up. So I would invite you, Daniela, and any of your followers to join us at Lady Ada's Secret Society on Marble Kids YouTube.
Oh my goodness, I'll definitely have to tune in to watch it. I think I know what you're talking about. I think, I wouldn't say last year, maybe I remember looking you up, and I remember seeing you as, like you said, the headmistress of the school. Right. Was it that one? Okay, yes. So I think I saw snippets of it, and I'm like, oh, she's doing another acting role. Okay, so I have seen snippets. I have to actually watch the whole thing of season 1, and then you said season 2 is coming in. Okay, and it's on YouTube?
It's on YouTube, on the channel Marble Kids.
Okay. So
you don't have to subscribe. You could just
watch. Okay, I'll be definitely watching. I'll be definitely supporting. And guys, well, I know this is a part 1, but like once this is up on Instagram, guys, please watch this for Terri so you guys can see what she's doing in her latest work.
Thank you for your support. Really appreciate it.
Of course. And let me see, Terri, what other questions we have here so we can, we're almost done. Okay, you kind of answered this already, so we'll skip that one right up. Okay, we also answered this as well. Okay, so here's one more question. What's the most difficult thing to do as a voice actor?
Get work.
Just work.
That radio producer I told you about at the beginning of our conversation, Fred DL, used to say to me, an actor's job is looking for work. And it is. And anybody who works in the arts can attest to that. So, yeah, that's the hardest part. The rest is usually pretty fun.
Okay. All right, Terri. And what is your advice for someone who wants to get into voice acting or acting?
In general, what I say is you know, we haven't talked a lot about this, but it's a tough profession, the arts. Hard to make a living. There's not generally a lot of financial stability. There are a few very lucky people, and I would consider myself one of them. I've made a living for most of my adult life in this industry, but it's rare. And then there are some people who are very famous, not me, and they kind of won the lottery, really.
Yeah.
So it's tough. So I say that to young people, I say, so if there's something else that you love to do that you're passionate about, you might consider pursuing that as well, and you know, maybe keep the arts as a sideline or a hobby. Yeah. However, if there's nothing else that kind of gives you that lift, that fulfills you, that meaning, that passion, if there's nothing else besides your artistic practice, then I say just give it all you've got. Take as many classes as possible, do as many workshops as possible, you know, volunteer your services to start building your skills. Go to, you know, audition for community theater like I did when I was a kid. Just keep learning, watching, learning, participating. And like any field, the more you practice and the more you put yourself out there, then your luck, which might be when preparedness meets with opportunity, your luck will hopefully lead you down the path that you most desire.
That's amazing advice. Great advice. That's perfect. I love that answer. And let me see, Terri. I think we're okay. This will be literally the last question, Terri. If you could have a day to hang out with any of the characters of Sailor Moon, who would it be and what would you do?
Oh, it would be with the gang. It would be with the group. It would be the Sailor Scouts and Luna and Artemis and Tuxedo Mask, and it would be with everybody. And what would we do? Well, we just have to be somewhere where we could talk. So probably not a noisy restaurant. Maybe a park. I really like nature. Maybe a park on a nice spring day with a picnic. That would be great. That would be ideal.
Yeah, it's a great date. It's like a great day to hang out and you just walk around and enjoy, like you said, nature. You can have a little bit of ice cream on the side.
Yes, exactly.
I love that answer. All right, Terri, I think we have answered all the questions I had for you today. It's still mind-boggling that I'm talking to you right now. Thank you so much for doing this. I know you had a super busy schedule. Thank you for putting me in here somehow. So, oh my goodness, I'm so grateful. Thank you, Terri. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome, Daniela. Thank you for inviting me. And thanks for all of your preparation with your great questions. And you look fabulous. Your makeup is so cool. And I wish you the best of luck with your Instagram following and everything else that you're pursuing in your life.
I thank you so much. Thank you. I hope to see you because I know you're coming where I live. So I will definitely look forward to.
Where is that?
Miami.
Okay. All right. Well, then let's look for each other and try to connect. Okay. Okay.
All right.
Great.
Oh my goodness.
All
right, my dear. Thank you so much for everything. You have a beautiful day. God bless you. You are just wonderful, and I'll let you go so you can enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks so much, Daniela. Such a treat. You take care. Stay safe, healthy. All right.
You too. Thank you so much. Bye, Terri. Let me see how I turn this off because I'm still figuring this out myself.